yeah, I should win just because you had the Timberwolves in the 8th seed.
Vasilevsky's been playing really well, and the Lightning have a great offense.
Yeah, it was a tremendous shot, and I've come to expect it from LeBron. I would say I wish the best for the Red Sox, but as a Yankees fan, that's really hard for me to do.
The biggest addition to me is Jalen Brunson.
Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers, and that's all I have to say. He's still a top 5 quarterback in this league, and there's nothing really anyone can do about it.
Why'd you have to name him? Like, seriously. Like, thanks, man.
Who would have thought 5 years ago that the Clippers and Nets would be facing in the finals?
How is Joe Burrow going to get the ball to them if his butt is already on the ground?
Crazy. And for the fans at home,
Hello, I'm Cy Mendenhall, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NBA Opinions of the Week. We are closing the year out with some disappointments so far, or disappointing starts, as it is early in the NBA season and all these players can turn it around. But Austin and I each have a list of 5 players, and maybe we'll agree, maybe we disagree. But the man that has not disappointed at all, Austin.
You haven't disappointed either, Kevin. I appreciate that.
Appreciate it. I appreciate it. So, where do you want to go?
I'll start with just one of mine. The first guy I'd like to mention is Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine and the Bulls have been very mid this year, and LaVine shooting some of his worst splits of his career. It's his worst field goal percentage that he's done in a full season, but he's missed some time since his rookie year. It's basically his rookie splits: 44% from the field, 33.6% from three, and he's only averaging 21 points, while last year he averaged 25. It's just been a very disappointing year for him and the Bulls, and he's out with an injury right now, and it's just not looking good.
Yeah, I almost had Zach LaVine on this list, but I went a different way. This one's a little bit personal. Josh Green, he's been injured a ton, but even when he was playing, he really wasn't doing a lot of points. To me, this is a big year. He's been titled a bust before, given how Desmond Bain was there and the Mavs took him instead. But to me, there were flashes last year, but he just really hasn't been able to build off it. And I think there was a prime spot for him to take to really become a big player on this Mavs team, but it's just a disappointing start for him.
Yeah, that's a good one. Who's your next player?
My next player is a member of the Pistons, so they are of course disappointing, but it's Jaden Ivey. I was really excited for the Pistons, as we've talked about in our Pistons videos. But Jaden Ivey, to me, really, he's only averaging 11.6 points. He's not really doing as well. He's at 24 minutes, but his 3-point percentage is 27.8. And it's just really tough. And his assists are at 2.7. Just not what I expected from him when it was going to be Cade and him. And I think he's had a disappointing start. Of course, all the Detroit Pistons have had a disappointing start, but I think you and I were both pretty high on Jaden Ivey.
Yeah, you went Ivy, I went Cade. Cade's only shooting 43.4% from the field, 32.5% from three. And while he is averaging 22 and 7, he is averaging also 4 turnovers a game. He's shooting well from the free throw line, which is a positive, but even if these stats are okay, they're still disappointing for a player who was supposed to take that next step. I know he still hasn't played all that much time in the league, but he's shooting for his career 42% from the field, 31.3% from three. That's not a number one pick. That's not really what you want to see from a guy who's supposed to be your staple for your team. And the losing they've done this year is definitely, well, the few wins they do have been helped by Cade. A lot of the losses are also because he has a very bad game.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I'll go into my next one, which is Andrew Wiggins. He was so integral on that playoff run, and he dealt with injuries last year. And he is getting 12.3 points, and he's 26 minutes per game. It's just, I think there's more, and I really thought he could live up to that hype. He's been a player where I thought a change of scenery would be great, and he showed flashes, but This year, I thought he was going to step up, and he got that huge new contract, and it just hasn't worked out.
Yeah, that's a really good one to have. That's somebody I forgot to add to this list, but there's still been so many disappointing players that I will make it out just fine. The next player I want to talk about is LaMelo Ball. He's averaging okay from uh, splits wise, but his defense has been poor, and he just keeps getting injured, which is something you don't want to see out of a star level player. The problems that they've had scoring, that being the Hornets, the problem they've had defending, and he's hurt. It's just been disappointing for him because if he can't stay on the court, it's hard for him to progress as a player.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Do you want to go to your fourth guy?
So my fourth guy is Jordan Poole. I'm a Wizards fan. I wanted Jordan Poole to succeed, but he is truly struggling to start this year off. We'll see how he performs because he has had a couple hot games before we recorded this. But besides that, he has been bad, shooting 41.6% from the field, 32.5% from three. He's shooting much worse from free throws than he did a couple years ago at 86.4, while a couple years ago he shot 92.5, only averaging 17.4 points per game. He's been okay on the defensive side of the ball, but could definitely be better. I expected more.
Yeah, he was the guy I almost had on my list. This is a guy I've already talked about, but Scoot Henderson has had a disappointing start. He was my Rookie of the Year pick, and Scoot just hasn't performed as well. He's 23.5 3-point as for his 3-point percentage, but he field goal percentage is 37.3, and he's only getting 11.1 points on a Portland team that really needs a scorer. And I just think he could have started much better than I expected him because he's been in the G League, and I thought he was just really going to take off, and it hasn't worked out for him.
Yeah, that's true. That's another good one to have. My last guy is Bradley Beal. Now, a lot of his struggles have been because of injuries or missing games. Like his points per game is only like 15 or something like that, but it really is higher than that because again, one of the games he got hurt in, he was he had only played 4 minutes, so that does affect how much he would have played. However, it's still been disappointing because of all the games he missed. He's making so much money. The Suns need him to perform well, and him being out is extremely disappointing, like I said.
Yeah, he's my fifth guy. So you and I agree on the last guy. Yeah, just what you mentioned, availability has not really helped him. And I was curious. I'm not a huge Suns fan, but I was curious to see if it would work. And with all the injuries, and it hasn't worked this far, as we talked about in the Phoenix video. But I think Bradley Beal is a key part of that, and he could have proved us wrong, and it just hasn't worked out, and it's definitely a disappointing start.
I agree.
And I think we'll end that on our somber note, but now we'll hopefully leave this in the past and these players will start anew with the new year. That's all we got, and thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.